Yeah, big talking Brewskis. Marissa Smith is who you see. Water cooler combo in here. Crack a cold one, we're on the air. Big talking Brewskis. Marissa Smith is who you see. Water cooler combo in here. Crack a cold one, we're on the air. Kicking back, having a few beers, we're chatting. Pull up your chair, we're all relaxing. Any subject, we never dismiss. Big talking Brewskis with Marissa Smith. Comedy, sex, relationships, more. Any subject, we got it in store. Big talking Brewskis is coming in live. Crack one open, Marissa has arrived. Big talking Brewskis with Marissa Smith.
Hey guys, happy Friday! This is Big Talkin' Brewskis. I'm still Marissa Smith. As always, I have Rodney Daniels with me.
What's up, guys? Happy Friday. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
And still Skyping in from Canada, we have Mike King.
Hey, everybody.
So, Mike, I have a question. Like, how do Canadians react to Trump?
Well, first it was like a little bit of, well, that shit could never happen to us. And then Ontario elected Doug Ford, who, if you haven't seen him on TV,
Is that
he's
the
Chris
crackhead?
Farley after he went into hiding.
Yeah. Isn't he, like, on drugs or something?
Oh, he was the drug dealer. His brother was the drug user who died.
Okay, so he just sold the drugs. Well, I guess, that's capitalism for you.
Yeah, he fucking dresses up. He tries to dress up like Trump, but he looks more like Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So now what kind of, like, does he do, like, crazy tweeting as well? Or, like...
he is exactly Canadian Trump light. He has the same xenophobic, hateful, hurtful policies. He claims to be an economic genius while coming up with ideas that are only harmful. He is... luckily, he's only relegated to just the province of Ontario. Unfortunately, I'm in that province.
Like, what's the biggest change that he's trying to make to your province?
Well, he tried to... he cut down a minimum wage increase.
Okay.
And said he wanted to make it a tax break. But a person who can do basic math just tweeted all the numbers and saying, people will still be making $1,000 less because of your so-called better idea.
Right.
And I haven't even bothered looking to see what else he's into because I like to, not feel suicidal.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of just waiting until I don't see him in the news anymore.
So now, is he, like, on his first term? Like, how does that work in Canada?
He was just, he's the, well, when you're in charge of the province, like, we call them premiers.
Okay.
So he's the premier of Ontario, and I think in a couple of years, like it's every 2 to 4 years, there's another election. So it's not a position for life. So hopefully enough people will come to their senses and chuck him out for anybody. Like they were pissed. Like the reason he got in is because the Liberal person who was in charge earlier fucked up everything so bad that electricity was outrageous expense. And like there were talk about it being subsidized, and she didn't do it, or at least not enough. And he came along, said he would, and
did he?
Like I think I'm not exactly sure because I never concerned myself.
If he's Trump-like, then he's done nothing but fuck porn stars the entire time.
Grabbing him by the pussy.
He's grabbing them all by the pussy.
Well, he's Canadian, so he asks first.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I grab you by the pussy?
Would you mind?
May I please grab you by the pussy?
May I please? Do I have permission to grab that pussy?
They're all about consent with the pussy grabbing up north. So now, like, when you're saying that the electricity was really expensive, like, how much are we talking here? Is this like hundreds of dollars a month, thousands of dollars a month?
It could go up to like several $100s a month. Like there was a big thing with our Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
He can also get it. He's super hot.
Yeah. I one of the funniest things I saw on Facebook was finally Canada has a leader that I would let finger me. That was a post I saw on Facebook, and I was just like, that's fucking hilarious. Yeah, not a lot of love for him because he's like it seems like he's failing at a lot of his better ideas. Like the one thing he's done, and hopefully people give him credit for that, is the legalization of weed across the country.
Right.
Wow.
But there's a lot of other little issues that he's either getting stonewalled on or they just weren't good ideas. I haven't really I don't try to focus too much on the criticisms. I just try to get like an overall idea.
Right.
But there was one woman who actually like came to him she was seen on TV crying about her bill, showing it to him, saying like this is what we have to deal with. Please do something. And like when he saw it, like he got like misty eyed, and he's like, I'm going to do something about it. So electricity was like a big problem, and I guess it kind of went away. But if so, then that
Like,
would be like the one
what's a
time
normal,
a Trump
like-
person has done something, and we're not exactly sure if he did it or if it was already plans in place that he took credit for. Because that American economy, it's kind of like mostly aftershocks of Obama's actions and stimulus packages. But
Right.
you know what? He was sitting in the chair, so I get credit.
Right.
Unless it was bad, then I inherited it.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
So like before you had this like power increase, how much was like a monthly bill?
Well, for me and my family, we always lived like very broke and cheap.
Okay.
Like I'm not one of your bougie guests. Like we make sure not to do our laundry unless it's like after 8 o'clock at night, so that we get like those off-peak hours.
Okay.
And we got like fluorescent bulbs instead of incandescent bulbs. So it didn't affect me personally, but a lot of people who live like normal people and who don't like preoccupy themselves with the cheapest way to do everything, they were really feeling it.
Okay. Well, I mean, at least when she showed the bill, like, he had some sort of emotional response. I mean, I think
Oh, yeah.
Trump would just, like, spit in her face and be like, Porper, go get my car.
Why don't you get a job, you loser?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like,
I
oh, you can clean toilets at Trump Plaza.
As long as you don't need Braille, because blind people are fucking losers.
Yeah. Either that or he's going to send you to, like, a sweat farm to go make his ugly-ass ties. Oh, what a nightmare. And then, like, today, like, Ruth Bader Ginsburg went into the hospital to have surgery for lung cancer. When I looked at the title of the article, I literally almost shat myself. I was just like, no. Like, if anything, God forbid, and I don't even want to put this in the universe because, like, only love and light to the RGB right now. But oh my God, if something happens to her and he goes and he puts in another Kavanaugh, it's like I'm already like in knots. I'm already in knots.
You already know what's gonna happen though.
Yeah, it's gonna be worse than Kavanaugh.
It's okay. We got one more year.
Do we?
Okay, what is likelihood you think he's gonna get reelected?
If he does not get impeached, and if they can't solidly prove some sort of collusion that he 100% is going to be indicted the second he leaves office, then I think that he'll get reelected. The only saving grace that we have is that his voting base is all strung out on opioids, which he promised to fix and he didn't, so they might OD before the election.
Either that or they all move to Russia so they get the leader they want.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. It's crazy. The whole thing is crazy. And, like, all of the grown-ups that actually was, like, holding his hands through his tantrums are all quitting. So, God knows what January brings.
Oh, God.
Because, like, Mattis is going to be gone. And his chief of staff is going to be gone. And nobody wants that job. And then the guy that is taking the job already said he's a horrible person. Hopeful, like, how likely is he going to be able to convince him to do anything? Like, nothing. So
I would take that job just so every time I'm on TV, I'd promote my podcast. I
yeah,
know I'm not filling out a full term, so
Yeah.
I'm just going to get all the publicity I can get.
yeah. It's I don't know.
I don't know. It's-
Anybody that tries to take that job is like literally it's career suicide.
yeah.
Now, is Trudeau up for a re-election soon?
It's been a few years, so I think next year is the election. I haven't heard talk of anybody really running against him. Hopefully, it's not Ford, because the last thing that fucker needs is a promotion.
Right. Now that's the one that's in your province, right?
Yeah,
Is he like the redheaded dude?
he's blonde.
Okay.
Oh.
But like kind of like a strawberry blonde. He's not like blonde. Like who's super blonde?
Reese Witherspoon,
Yeah, is he like Reese Witherspoon blonde?
Nicole Kidman.
I can't stand to look at him long enough to find out, but I can do a quick search.
I always thought that he looked kind of like reddish.
That's exactly how I feel about Trump. I can't
He
look at
looks
him.
a bit like a dirty blondish.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, he looks. Every time he smiles, he looks like his human suit is at its limits. He looks, every time he smiles, like just look up Doug Ford smiling, and he looks like he's trying to publicly disguise the fact that he just shit himself.
Okay. Is he like one of those lizard people?
Oh, definitely. He is fucking lizardy. He is Tin Lizzy.
So now, you've been doing podcasting for a while. Like, what was the craziest like message or email that you've gotten from a fan or complained?
Oh boy, I've got a story about that. We had a guest on the show who, on for one of the horror movies,
Okay.
Okay.
and afterwards he was talking about how he enjoyed being on the show, and I was like, oh, that's great. And then he starts talking about how if you want to improve your if you want to get your download numbers up, you need to like stop talking about old movies that nobody likes and start like talking about episodes of The Walking Dead. And I'm like, there's already
What?
Walking Dead podcast. I'm trying to, be
That's
my
the
own
whole
thing.
point of the podcast.
Oh yeah, he
The-
didn't get that. And then you talk, and then
You
when we
didn't
had-
get that there was a theme for the podcast? Like,
No.
this is what
And
the
then I
theme-
had a friend on who had never been on a podcast, so she was a little nervous, but she eventually got into it and warmed up, and we had a nice dialogue going on. But he's just like, you should just stop having boring people like her on, and I'm like, that's my friend.
Right.
So he really started like criticizing the show instead of like constructive criticisms and suggestions.
Right.
He was just picking my damn show apart. So it got really bad. Like I was dealing with a full-on narcissist.
Yeah. he
Right,
sounds
because what
real
was his
toxic.
show? What was his movie? What was his movie that he was discussing?
Well, it wasn't his movie, but like the movie that we all picked to see was the
Yeah.
movie Zombie, which
Okay.
if you're familiar with that,
No.
it was by Lucio Fulci. It was a 70s zombie movie. There's a scene where a woman gets like stabbed in the eye by some wooden slats.
Ugh.
Yeah. I think I've seen it.
I've never
Yeah,
seen
It was like some old gross Italian zombie movie. It had a great scene with a zombie fighting a shark.
A zombie fighting a shark?
Yeah.
How like does the zombie like how does a zombie fight a shark? I mean, I thought
Well,
that they
he's walking. He just walks off the island.
he just walks into the sea
Yeah.
and
'Cause he
then
doesn't have to breathe, and then he encounters a shark because he's trying to grab someone off a boat.
okay.
And then a shark comes along, and he's just like, "Fuck you, dead guy. I got that. I got that girl."
Does he like
And-
turn it into like a zombie shark?
I wish, but the director just did not have that ambition. I would have fucking loved to see them kill all the zombie people on the island and think the threat is over, and then like you turn on the TV and you see like New
A
York is
zombie
just-
shark, yeah.
Yeah, zombie sharks showing up on Rockaway Beach and just gnawing the fucking shit out of people, flipping. They don't drown. They don't suffocate on the land. They just keep flipping around down the block. They don't have to breathe, so air's not a problem.
So I feel
Right.
like we need to like write zombie shark for Shark Week.
I am down to write that. I've reviewed so many shitty movies. I would love to make my own shitty.
I was gonna
movie.
say, wasn't that like Sharknado 4?
Did they have
Sharknado 4. Lots more sharks.
Did they have zombies?
I don't know if they had zombies. I was just, that was a joke.
I've never seen any Sharknadoes. I don't watch scary movies because I get too
Sharknado's
scared.
not really a scary movie.
That's too scary for me. I can't watch the regular Jaws.
It's
You need
Tara
to see
Reid's in it.
Ghost
It's
Sharks.
funny.
What?
You need to see Ghost Shark.
I've never. I've never.
I saw the trailer for it. There's this one scene. This kid's on a slip and slide on his front lawn, and he's sliding down, and it's fine. And then and then a ghost shark appears at the end, like coming out of the lawn, bites him, and you see like just his torso fly down the street.
What?
It's fucking nuts.
But like, so ghost sharks don't need water?
No, they're ghosts. They can go anywhere and just bite you out of anywhere. It was just.
But like,
insane.
how do they walk?
Well, I guess they just like rise. They just swim through the air.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whoever wrote that was on all of the drugs. All of the drugs.
They
ate all of the mushrooms. They had all of the acid.
I couldn't even stand to look for that movie. I'm just like, no, I love bad movies, but this looks mental. Just look up Ghost Sharks Slip and Slide. They got like the fattest kid they could find to just like occupy all of the slip and slide and just like slide across the lawn and then only to get eaten by a shark waiting at the end.
Oh, that's crazy. So what's the worst movie that you've seen?
One of the worst movies we saw was Hollow's End. It was done by I think it was the cast and crew, or at least it was filmed in an actual one of those haunted house attractions.
Okay.
And it was originally called the Boneyard, like not the movie, the location. And what this movie was about was the staff of a haunted house is gearing up for Halloween, like the big busy night of the year. And one of them finds a book that's given to them by some local guy called Pumpkin Jack.
Okay.
Which sounds like a Nightmare Before Christmas ripoff, and it probably is, except he looks like an extra on Hee Haw.
Okay.
And she ends up reading the book, and it activates this curse where everyone turns into their costumes. And if that sounds familiar, yes, it was done much better on an episode of Buffy.
Oh, okay.
So people start turning into vampires and attacking other people, and it was just so dull and boring. This is going to be real. They had a lesbian makeout scene, which was boring.
Yeah.
And
you're like, and how do you make lesbians boring?
Yeah, I'm easy to please. Okay, I'm not ashamed that I can be. Well, I'm easy to entertain, and this was just like, really, that's it? Because it was just like slow, meaningless makeouts, no boobs out, no nothing, and
the L word. It was not.
No. And it turns out one of them is like friends. Like turns out the woman the one behind it is one of the friends, and she gets surrounded by all of her people, like all the people that she turned, and they turn on her and they eat her. And I'm like, wait, if she's controlling everything, why did she get swarmed?
Yeah.
So it was like, it's not like I can enjoy the hell out of a bad movie. Because I've seen some terrible movies like Jack Frost, which were great. Oh. Have you seen that?
No.
The 1997 Jack Frost?
No.
Let's just say Shannon Elizabeth's most embarrassing sex scene wasn't in American Pie.
Oh, wow.
It's like she gets death raped by the snowman.
Okay.
What is? Oh.
And the best part is like as it's happening to rockabilly music. So like. As gruesome as like it sounds, it looks absolutely fucking ridiculous because he's just like slamming her against the wall, like rising out of the bathtub because she's in the tub, she's complaining the water's getting cold, and then she gets covered in like this it looks like laundry detergent, and then all of a sudden he rises up and she's embedded in him.
Liquid or powder for the laundry detergent,
like flakes.
Okay.
And then, like, he finally coalesces into a snowman and rises up, and she's, like, embedded in him, and he's, like, slamming her against the wall. And then, like, when she finally falls down to the ground, it's like donut jelly comes out of her mouth. It is terrible, but also hilarious, and it's just loaded with terrible puns all the way. Like someone sees the snowman, he's like, "Who are you?" "The world's most pissed off snow cone." And then like he enters someone's car by turning into his liquid state and pouring in through the vents. And then like he coalesces in the back seat and he's like, "Your engine's flooded." It's so fucking cheap. I genuinely love it, and I'm gonna watch it every year so I can enjoy the shit out of a bad movie. But
Right.
Hollow's End was just boring. They had like these slowly poorly acted kill scenes. Nothing about it was worth praising except for the location, which was an actual haunted house attraction.
Okay.
But the funny part about that episode was that at the end, my co-host wanted to break the DVD, and it wouldn't even break on the show.
Oh,
He's
shit.
trying to snap it in half, and it's like bending and like kind of shattering a little bit, but no clean snap.
You will not destroy us.
It won't even die right.
So, what's your favorite horror movie?
Mine is it's a toss-up between Christine and the Hammer Films 1958 Dracula with Christopher Lee.
Okay.
When it comes
Real
to
old
vampires, he's the
school.
man. He is imposing when he's meant to be a vampire and a demon, but yet when he's meant to be the ladies' man, because he's like 6'5", he's just like this stunning lead. And the music, the atmosphere, everything is fantastic. Like when he first shows up, he's like a stately count. He looks debonair and dashing. And then when he comes back from town, the music just has this amazing orchestral sting, and it closes up on his face where his eyes are bloodshot. Red is trickling down his lips, and he's got his fangs out, and he just chokes the shit out of this guy that's messing with his wife. And he's just got this amazing look on his face. Like the only fight going on is between him and himself, trying not to murder this man because he just wants to hurt him.
Wow.
So do yourself a favor. If you haven't seen the original the 1958 Dracula, not that Bela Lugosi one, he's too swishy. This one is...
Swishy.
Have you seen Bela Lugosi? He's like, "Welcome to my castle. Welcome. The flies. Look at how they suck the blood out of the... look at how the spiders suck the blood out of the flies." I've never seen him bite anybody. You will never see Dracula bite anybody. Just like the original 40s, the 1940 Universal Werewolf, you don't see the full moon.
Yeah.
So these black and white classics, they're lacking in some departments, but Hammer, they were big movies in the 60s and 70s. They did the first lesbian vampire movie. So
Okay.
if you're looking for that, they did the Vampire Lovers.
Oh, I never heard of it.
So yeah, check out Hammer Studios. If you can talk to me after the show, I can send you some. They are iconic, classic movies, which is a beautiful balance of restraint, class, gore, and violence.
Okay.
Nice.
It's like the
What?
4 seasons of a horror film.
Oh, absolutely. How about you guys?
Oh, my favorite horror movie?
To be honest with you, I don't watch that much horror.
She doesn't watch horror movies.
because like I get too scared.
I know I will
What
tell
about
you the
Nightmare
one.
Before Christmas.
I don't even think I've ever finished it. I saw Nosferatu with William Dafoe, but that was not really like a horror.
I
Oh,
will-
Shadow of the Vampire, yeah.
Yeah.
I will tell you that the one that scared the shit out of me when I was a kid, I was probably had to be like 8 or something like that. But was Night of the Living Dead. Not the first one, the 80s version.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's probably because we lived like on a dead end, and a graveyard was like on the other side of the dead end.
Okay.
And so like for like a month straight, I was just thinking like they're gonna
You're
come
living at
out.
Ground Zero.
Literally living at ground zero. I'm 2 houses down from a graveyard. I'm 8 and I'm gonna die. That's
We're
exactly
the front lines.
right there.
Yeah, like I am so bad with horror that like I actually screamed in the movie theater in Signs.
And Signs.
Yeah.
That wasn't even scary.
That foot fucked me up. Like I dumped popcorn and soda on people in the Blair Witch Project. Like I totally spaz out in horror movies. I can't. Like I've one of my friends from high school, she is like the only like person that I'll watch a horror movie with because like we've known each other since we were like 13, and so she knows how to like walk me through a horror movie. So like, you know, like she's like, okay, you hear that music, it's getting suspenseful. What does that mean? Close your eyes. I'm like, all right, like I got this. They're closed. Tell me when I can open them. Like, and she literally like walks me through the movie like that, and then like she like she literally puts her arm out when she knows I'm gonna get scared or need to grab onto something. Like, but she's been dealing with me since we were teenagers.
We gotta go to a horror movie.
You don't know how to handle me in a horror movie.
Go see Hereditary. It's all suspense, no payoff.
I like the payoff.
What is the payoff?
I mean,
if you ask me, there was none, but
right.
apparently someone begs to differ.
Right.
Well, like, what is the payoff supposed to be? Just gore?
I feel like it's
No.
when. Oh no! What is the payoff?
Exactly.
Oh, I mean, I feel like.
Well, what is the payoff supposed to be in any horror movie?
I feel like for every horror movie, it's different, right? It will, but like when somebody dies, or like the big reveal in the Sixth Sense, like that's the payoff.
Yeah, a villain makes his move and either gets defeated or he succeeds and destroys a family, the world, something.
Yeah,
There's a resolution.
There's
there was none in this movie.
Yeah.
It ends with a ceremony of summoning some guy, and then like this guy who apparently might be the host or the recipient of this ghost ends up looking all scared and confused, and then at the end he just says, and that's how the fucking movie ends. He clicks his tongue and credits. That's fucking garbage.
Oh. Yeah, no, I don't like that. I like when like there's an ending to it, like Drag Me to Hell. Have you seen that movie before?
No, but I heard that she got dragged to hell.
She did, and it was fucking epic. Yeah, Drag Me to Hell. If you haven't seen it, it's good. If you like horror movies, because it's like
suggested for the show, man.
Yeah,
Check the
it's
Facebook page, listen to the show. Heck, talk about it with us on the show.
Yeah, I totally will. Yeah, I mean, because it's a horror movie that like has some stick to it.
Okay.
So like there's like some funny scenes. Basically, the premise is the main character, she works at a bank. This old woman comes in, tries to get a loan. She denies her because she's trying to get like points with her boss at the bank. And this woman does a curse on her, and it's like, bitch, you're going straight to hell. But like they fight in the car, and just like the woman bites her, and all the time it's like it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
She's a
But,
gypsy,
like,
right?
She's a gypsy. It's a crazy gypsy woman.
I don't think we can say that anymore. They like to be called the Roma now.
Oh,
The Roma.
the Roma.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
remember when we had
We did. We had a gypsy, a real gypsy. Well, she's a Roma. A Roma.
Because we said that the G word and she got real mad.
She did.
She got real mad.
We'd be offending a lot of people.
You know something? If you're not offending somebody, you're not doing your damn job.
This is true.
But so now I don't think that this is probably considered a horror, but like I would say, like the movie that scared me the most, I believe the name of the movie is called Dead Ringer, and it's with Jeremy Irons. He plays twin gynecologists, and
What?
so he plays twin gynecologists, and one of them is a serial killer, and he uses antique gynecological tools to kill women. And
Oh, fuck.
I will tell you that scared the shit out of me. And I literally could not like go to the gyno until I absolutely like had to. It was just
So-
like I'm like Jeremy Irons is gonna come out and like get this speculum and just like rip me apart.
So
Oh.
it's the misogyny version of Marathon Man.
I don't think I've ever seen Marathon Man.
Basically, a killer dentist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah.
If you've ever seen anybody referencing something in a movie like, is it safe? Like just some disembodied voice asking if it's safe.
Right.
They're referencing Marathon Man.
Okay.
Ah.
Yeah. But that scared the shit out of me. And like to be honest with you, when people ask me what's like my greatest fear in life, it is to be stuck in an elevator with Jeremy Irons. Like that is
Oh, just stuck in an elevator. Period. Have you ever seen Devil?
no.
Yeah, that's one. It's a horror movie.
No, I mean I've been stuck in elevators, but like
Where they're stuck in an elevator.
But like literally, to be stuck in an elevator with Jeremy Irons is like my hell. Be stuck in an elevator with Keanu Reeves is my heaven.
I don't know. Wait, what? Because I feel like you stuck in an elevator would be.
I'm not.
You're not gonna freak. You would freak out.
Especially with Jeremy Irons, but with Keanu Reeves, he's gonna distract me the whole time.
You're gonna be like, yes, I'm in an elevator.
With Keanu
Reeves.
like,
Can we
Mufasa,
pretend
do it
this is
again.
like a really cozy phone booth?
Yeah.
Come closer.
It's just like I feel like at some point in being stuck with Keanu, I'm gonna hyperventilate, and him being the cool dude that he is, he's gonna try to help me out, and then he's gonna realize he loves me as much as I love him.
Mm-mm.
Whoa, chill.
Right?
Oh.
Did you see the new Halloween?
No, I haven't. I just didn't get around to it. But I've heard good and bad things about it, so it's definitely going to come up on the show eventually. When it comes out on a video, that I can pirate it because I'm cheap.
Mhm.
I don't blame you for that. But I love how Jamie Lee Curtis is still like all about this franchise, man. Still making money from that.
Hey, she knows where her bread is buttered.
You know?
Yeah.
Although it would be nice to see her return to Trading Places too, but
Okay.
I don't know if I still want to see that nude scene though.
Right. No, I liked her in True Lies.
Yeah, True Lies.
You know what? Fuck it. I'll see the. You know what? I'm not going to age shame her. I'll see the nude scene.
Right.
don't care.
Right.
I liked her in A Fish Called Wanda.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
It's like John Cleese is in it. It's like an English comedy. I think from late '80s, early '90s.
Okay.
It was like the pre-snatch.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's underrated. I like Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, she is. I feel like what is it? I can't remember her name right now. I want to say Gina Davis, but
That's exactly what I was thinking of. Gina Davis was
Amazing.
like, and she's so amazing, gorgeous, at the top of her game, and then just stopped making movies.
yeah, the
She's,
long
She
kiss.
was in the first season of The Exorcist.
Oh,
there
She was good. It was good
Wait,
to see her again.
the new Exorcist.
There was. It was a season. It was 2 seasons on Fox,
Okay.
and she played Reagan from the original Exorcist.
Okay. Oh.
I
Yeah,
didn't know.
she was the grown-up Reagan.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know that show existed.
She was in a lot of people.
The Long Kiss Goodnight. You just listen to
yeah,
that.
the long
That's
kiss
one of
goodnight
my
was
favorite.
so good.
I love
she was
that
Charlie.
movie. She played Charlie.
Yeah, she was so
And her
good.
hair
in
was
that.
like all brown at first, and then she makes it blonde, and then
Then she
uh,
all hell breaks loose.
right,
Like
Samuel
she-
Jackson's in it.
She was like all of the I feel like Angela Jolie action movie. Like she was like
That was the beginning.
beginning.
Yeah.
Like she was the grandmother of all of those like hard hitting women spy movies.
Yeah, I agree.
But she was like, I feel like she was. I don't get me wrong. I like Angelina Jolie, but I feel like she was so much better at it than like a lot of these new ones doing
Well,
it.
see, my whole thing about Angelina Jolie is like, no matter what her character is, what her wig is, what she has on, I just always still look at her and think that that's Angelina Jolie. Like, I don't know. It's just something about her face. A lot of other actresses, Scarlett Johansson, I forget that she's Scarlett Johansson. Like, but Angelina Jolie, I'm just like.
See, I have that with Scarlett Johansson because in my head, every time I see her, I'm thinking Ghost World, and I'm like, where are your clothes? Like,
Right. Well, no, because I think of Gia, and I'm just like, wow, Angelina Jolie, she's a model.
Come a long way.
Yeah.
But like she was in, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like based on a true story, and she plays a woman whose husband is a journalist that gets kidnapped, and she does not look like herself at all in that. Like, if,
Oh, I know which movie you're talking about.
Changeling?
yes,
Changeling.
yes, like like that is.
Yeah, her son got replaced by somebody who the cops are just like, "This is your kid." No, it's not.
And she's like, that's
oh,
not
you're
my
just
kid.
hysterical.
And
Women
she's like, no,
things.
that's not my kid. You're
Yeah.
right. She did look
Completely
completely
different.
different. in
Yeah.
that.
But now the real person that she's playing was like an African American woman. Well, I don't know if she's African American, but she was like a woman of African descent.
Oh, great.
I'm just saying. I'm not cultural appropriation shaming her or anything like that. I'm just saying let the historical figure.
Right. Well, because I feel like that happens all the time. Look at what's her name that played Nina Simone.
Zoe Saldana.
It's like, why didn't you just get a black woman and play Nina Simone?
Yeah, and then they put that prosthetic nose on her, and that was mad disrespectful.
So disrespectful. There's plenty of big noses out here.
It's just like you had to put this fake ugly nose on her. Like at least if if she was just gonna play like Nina Simone, like just let her have her face.
Right.
Just she's an actress. Like we'll get the rest. You don't need to do all of this bad makeup. If anything, I think people should have been more pissed off at the cosmetic team that put her prosthetics together because she was tore up from the floor up.
Damn.
Yeah, it was bad.
What do you do in that situation? You're an actor. You look at your prosthetics in the mirror, and you could just tell that they're not good. It's bad.
I think that's when you had to have like in your contract that you have like final sign off on anything creative.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's like.
But if you don't, your ass is getting on set.
You're just getting on set. You're just getting on set, unless like you can just convince them, hey, this is not good.
This is not.
Maybe that's when like you go and you do a little Instagram post, hey guys, what do you think? And you have 1 million people saying you look like dog shit. Then maybe you can convince somebody, hey, this is not good. Like,
oh, that's smart.
Yeah, right. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, hey, yeah, you want this movie to do well? They're not liking it.
I know. Did it work with that guy who did the with that Joaquin Phoenix? Was it Joaquin Phoenix with that Joker makeup?
No, it was
Well, no, isn't Joaquin? He's gonna be the next Joker, right?
Yeah, and he looks like the face on those squirt guns at the carnival, the targets.
Yeah,
he looks like that instead of like the Joker. The Joker has a very simple color scheme: white, green, purple.
Right.
That's his area of color. They got red, white, and blue. He's a carnival attraction, not the clown prince of crime.
Maybe he's the Trump of Jokers.
Heath Ledger. I liked his Joker makeup.
Yeah.
Again, it was white, green, and purple.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he kept true to the character, and yet went in his own direction, more psychopathic than playful prankster, and he made it great.
Yeah. I don't know.
Did you see that video of Tommy Wiseau in place of Heath Ledger as the Joker doing all the lines?
No.
No.
Do it. It's fucking fantastic.
Do it.
Yeah, I feel like this goes on to the long list of things that we have to ask you for links for. But we're gonna have to wrap this up. But before we go, again, Mike, just tell everybody where they can follow you on social media, your podcast, where they can find your podcast, and any other projects that you have going on.
You can find my podcast just about anywhere you find podcasts, like Stitcher, Anchor, Podbean, any way that you go. It's the Playing with Power podcast is where we talk about Nintendo Power Magazine and also review old games and stuff. But we talk about horror movies here. So if you want to hear me talk about horror movies more, I can't imagine you'd want more of me after this episode. I feel like I've hogged it. But if you just think like we need more Mike, then you can check out the Graveyard Shift Horror with Sheldon and Mike. Not to be confused with other things called the Graveyard Shift. You know that there's an Irish podcast about Christianity called the Graveyard Shift?
No, I did not know that.
Why is it called the Graveyard Shift?
I have no fucking idea. Unless it's like Jesus
because the Christians come out at night.
That's not a half bad Rodney.
Oh God, I gotta pray the gay away.
Oh, the Christians are here. Here goes the neighborhood. Oh boy. Graveyard Shift Horror with Sheldon and Mike, and you can check me out posting anti-Trump memes on my Facebook, which is just Mike King. Look for the Mike King in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada.
Awesome.
That's
And
it.
nice to finally meet you, Mike.
Same here.
Now, Rodney Daniels.
My next show is tonight at the Broadway Comedy Club. I'm hosting Fashion Be Funny. If you are in New York City, come check it out and be with the fabulous and talented Marissa Smith. I got a bunch of dates coming up in 2019, so stay tuned on my Facebook and Instagram. All handles Rodney Daniels. Facebook, Instagram, Rodney Daniels. Marissa Smith.
I too am going to be on Fashionably Funny tonight at Broadway Comedy Club at 9:30. Also check me out at Auto Shrunken Head on January the 5th. Please check this podcast out. We're, live streaming on YouTube, but also check out my other podcast, Blame Storming. You can find us on iTunes, Podbeam, Stitcher, all the usual suspects. And if you enjoy any of the shows, please rate and review us. And this is our last show of 2018, you guys.
It's been an amazing year.
It's been a fun year. It's been a stressful year. It's been everything in between. And thank you guys for being there with us throughout it all. And we'll be back in the new year. So
With new episodes ready to go.
happy holidays, happy new year, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.